What's up everybody and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. Now, as is customary during these times, before I start the show, I just want to give a real special shout out for those of you who are out there, basically the lifeblood of this country, keeping us going. Thank you so much. I really can't emphasize this enough. You guys are the reason that America essentially is still functioning, and I hope that moving forward when we reflect about this time in the coronavirus, that we have a greater appreciation for those people who are ironically now the most essential workers in the United States. So I really appreciate everything that you're doing for the rest of us who have the luxury of staying home. Thank you so much. It's really a wonder that you guys get up every morning and do what you need to do, putting your lives at risk. It really is. And speaking of wonders, today we got something really cool. We're going to be reviewing the Hot Toys version of Wonder Woman, the 1/6 scale Comic Concepts version. Let's take a closer look. Okay, before we begin, guys, I always have to say I'm very skeptical of figures that are just reskins of previous figures. Now, this one kind of gets a pass for me, and I'll explain why. Now, this head sculpt looks like if Kim Kardashian and Gal Gadot had a daughter, that's what they would look like, because I definitely see Kim Kardashian here. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing because she's attractive, albeit useless, but nevertheless, it's still there in certain angles. It's just, it really messes with me. It is a beautiful head sculpt, but just know that it looks more on the Kardashian side, so just keep that in mind. Now, the cool thing about this piece is it's a concept, kind of like a what-if story, but in physical form or in plastic form, however you want to call it. But here's the cool thing about this. The armor set is kind of a throwback to the earlier versions of Wonder Woman while still having the current armor set, which is great. What I love about this is how vibrant it is. The gold is nice and polished, that red really pops out, the pleated skirt is amazing, but it's just in the old style of the briefs that we would see in something like Linda Carter's outfit. Overall, the armor set is just beautiful and just so good to look at. The lower section of this piece is equally impressive. Now, I grew up with the Linda Carter Wonder Woman, so I really love that outfit. It just defines Wonder Woman for me. But I have to say, doing this in the current armor set is really cool because you get the best of both worlds. I love how modularized the boots are. Again, they're in that nice modern armor, but with the old school influence, which is really fantastic, guys. I also like that they use the nice ball joint system, so it is very malleable and you can get some really epic poses, even though I left it the way it is. Overall, really great job. The shield for me is definitely one of the highlights of this piece because not only is it incredibly ornate, there are a lot of awesome, really nice textures there, but most importantly, look at the color palette, guys. The Wonder Woman logo really stands out offset against that red, and just look at layer upon layer of colors. This thing just looks so amazing, guys. Really well done here. Additionally, there's an incredible amount of detail. If you notice, in one of the rings of the actual shield, you'll notice some inscription and some writing, which is pretty freaking awesome, guys. Of course, one of the things that is now a staple of Wonder Woman is definitely her sword. Now, this one is very similar to the ones that we've seen in the previous figures. It is incredibly ornate, guys. I love that silver finish. The hilt and the handle look absolutely fantastic. The etching is done very well. It is just very elegant, guys. Overall, they did a great job with this piece. Nothing new from the previous figure, but I'm just glad that they continue this level of excellence. Nice job here as well, guys. Now, you definitely want to mirror this piece for several reasons. Now, I'm a sucker for mixed media. If you've been watching the show for a while, you'll know this. But mostly it has to do with the hair. I think this version is much better in terms of the way that they did the hair. She's definitely been rocking the Pantene and the conditioner because it has a nice shine to it. It looks awesome. But here's the great thing, guys. It's the cape. The cape is just absolutely beautiful. That purple is really a focal point, and I think it's so elegantly done. There's some nice textures there, and definitely the fabric is high quality. Definitely mirror this one. Now, one of the things that I really like about the base, of course, it's pretty standard by now, is that it encompasses what this piece is in terms of a concept figure. It is bringing the best of both worlds, old school and new school, and you can see it all in the graphic on the surface of the base. It's really well done, guys, and I think it really complements it a lot. Very cool looking, and of course on the lip of the base there's that nice white bold lettering that just says Wonder Woman, which I think is fantastic, and I hope that Hot Toys really continues that trend. Now, this piece comes with some additional accessories, but a couple things that I want you to keep in mind. This is a full rubber body suit just like the previous figure, so you want to be very careful about putting too much stress on the joints because it will start cracking because it is rubber. But we do have these really cool effects of her deflecting bullets with her bracelets, and they're magnetic, which is really cool, guys, so it's not a pain in the ass to take them off and on. You get 2 of the bigger ones and 2 of the smaller ones. So again, if you want to do dynamic poses, you can do so. Just remember, full rubber body suit. Now the lasso here is really cool. Again, I think that this is much more high quality than the previous figure. I don't think they just copied and pasted this one. I do notice that there is a much more kind of gold finish on this than the previous one, and it looks much more metallic. And of course, rounding out the last bit of accessories are 6 additional hands for various poses. But again, always in the back of your head, guys, you have to keep in fact that this is a full rubber body suit, and I know I keep emphasizing that, but you don't want to cause cracking in those suits. Again, it's nice that you guys can get creative with the poses and whatnot, because you can do a lot with this figure, but for me personally, because it is a concept figure, I think I like to put it in the stoic pose, but to each his own, guys. That's what I say. But you do get these nice accessories, these nice additional hands. Now, I went back and forth with this one, and in all honesty, I can't exactly categorize it as a holy grail piece, but it does get my second highest rating. It is a must-own for collectors, mostly because, one, it's a concept Wonder Woman version, but also it's going to get rarer and rarer, and maybe I'll have to go back retroactively and say that it was a holy grail piece, but right now, not everybody would be into this. Nevertheless, for the hardcore collectors who are completists, definitely pick this one up. Now before I go, I just want to thank the folks over at Sideshow Collectibles for sending this wonderful piece over for review. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on Hot Toys version of Wonder Woman, the 1/6 scale comic concepts version. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.